everyone, and welcome back to another video. So I have another book haul for you guys. I think the last book haul I did was in January. So it is the middle of March right now. So I've picked up a good amount of books since then. So I thought it would be nice to share those with you. And maybe you'll find something that you are intrigued to read. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first book I want to show off is the second one in the Crimson Moth series, and that is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. I think I pronounced her name right. But this is the second one, and I'm super excited to be picking this up. I will be picking it up in April. But I mean, I think this is the last one because I'm pretty positive this is a duology. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens between the witch and the hunter, especially since like the ending of the first one. But yeah, I'm like super stoked to pick this up. I really liked the first one. I thought it was great. So excited to see how this is going to end. The next one I picked up, and I actually got it from Book of the Month. I'm happy I got it from Book of the Month, but at the same time, I'm a little bummed because I guess the original published version, the hardback is absolutely gorgeous. It's like under the dust cover, but the Book of the Month version didn't do that, and that's fine. But the cover itself is gorgeous anyway, the dust jacket anyway. But that is none other than Water Moon, and I believe I've already talked a little bit about what this is, just because I plan to pick this up in April as well, but I'm super excited to be reading this. I've heard great things about it. And that's another reason why I don't want to put it off too much longer, so I will be reading this in April. Next one that finally came in, and I've already read it, but I finally have the physical copy, is Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. So, oh my gosh, I am so glad I have this on my shelf now. Granted, I read it through Kindle Unlimited just because I didn't want to wait. I had to know. So I'm not patiently waiting for the fourth one, Burn, to come out. And from my sources that I've been watching and listening to, it's supposed to be sometime this year. Supposed to be. So I'm keeping my ears open to find out when the actual publication date is going to be, because I cannot wait to pick up the fourth book in this. The first one was fantastic. The second one was even better, and the third one just, each book got better. So I cannot wait to see what the fourth one has for us. The next book that just recently came in the mail is the third book in the Legendborn cycle, and that is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I am so excited for this one. I love this series, and oh my gosh, I just completely enjoyed book one and book two, and so I cannot wait to see where Tracy takes us in this third novel, especially since how it ended in the second one. Now granted, I'm pretty positive I remember everything, but we'll see when I start reading it. I don't necessarily want to have to go back and reread one and two, but I will if needed. But I mean, this one I think is just as big as the second one, if not slightly bigger. But I am super excited to continue on with this YA series. And then another anticipated release that came in recently as well is Cassandra Clare's The Rag Picker King, which is book 2 in her Swordcatcher series. So I just recently found out that this is supposed to be a 4-book series. So it took her 2 years to get this one out. So I'm hoping we don't have to wait that long for book 3, but it will be okay if that's the case. But oh my gosh, I absolutely enjoyed book 1, all of the political scheming and the things that had to go on in it, and then the slow burn romance that's in it. And I've even heard that there's like more love interest in this one. So Cassandra Clare's getting back into her shadow hunter days of, you know, these people are in love, these people are in love, this, that, whatever. And so multiple characters. And I know in the first one we followed Kel and the one girl, what's her name, and Lynn. But I think we're gonna start following Connor potentially as well, which is the prince. So I am super excited. And guys, I need to know what this means, okay? What does this mean? Obviously, something good, but I still want to know. It could also be tragic, but I won't know until I read it. And this is going to be read, I think, in May. I think. If not sooner, depending on how I feel. So, very excited. The next thing I picked up was Secrets of Azoria. This is by Christina Macari. I read the synopsis to this and I was like, okay, I have to buy it. It sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if it's a standalone or not, but I will read you the synopsis of this and maybe you'll be intrigued to pick it up. 16-year-old Orion Candor has always felt like an outsider. Concealing her weird, unexplained abilities hasn't been easy, and near-death experience turns her world upside down. She learns she has elemental powers and must train at an elite academy in Azoria, a hidden country for sorcerers. But dark forces begin to test Orion in ways she couldn't have imagined. Fear and treachery haunt Azoria's streets as the country's most malicious sorcerer, Krill Obsidian, craves domination. But Orion discovers her late grandmother hid clues leading to a relic that can turn the tide of evil. Determined to solve the mysteries of her past, Orion finds herself on the run from Krill and entangled in a spy ring with questionable motives, the same spy ring her grandmother once belonged to. In a world that thrives on deception, Orion must choose her allies carefully. One wrong move and she could lose Azoria's last chance at freedom, along with her life. So, you've got sorcerers, you've got magic, you've got an evildoer, country domination, and mystery. And so I'm super excited to pick this up. I will be picking it up soon. This is only 361 pages. So, and the writing, the font is pretty big too. So, I mean, I think this could be a super quick and enjoyable read. The next books that I picked up were none other than the trilogy of Maggie. I am going to butcher this. Stiefvater, and that is Shiver. And I found the original covers in hardback and I'm so excited for it. And what I found out too is the font color matches the book. I thought that was so cool. But yeah, I found the first two, Shiver and Linger, at Half Price Books, and then I found Forever on Amazon. I was so excited. But yeah, I was looking at the font the other day, and they're like, this one's green, this one's blue, and this one's red. I thought that was so cool. Now this one, it is a little more yellow than the other two, just because I feel like this person had it on their shelf for a very long time. And depending on how like the humidity or whatever, but for the most part, it is still in very good condition. It's just the pages are a little yellowed in. You know what? That's fine. It is what it is. But if you do not know what Shiver is about, I will read the synopsis to you. The Cold. Grace has spent years watching the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, watches back. He feels deeply familiar to her, but she doesn't know why. The heat. Sam, who lived 2 lives. As a wolf, he keeps the silent company of the girl he loves, and then for a short time each year, he is human, never daring to talk to Grace, until now. The Shiver. For Grace and Sam, love has always been kept at a distance, but once it's spoken, it cannot be denied. Sam must fight to stay human, and Grace must fight to keep him, even if it means taking on the scars of the past, the fragility of the present, and the impossibility of the future. So, from my understanding, this is a YA romance between Grace, who's human, and Sam, who is, I don't know if they're going to describe him as a shifter, like a wolf shifter, or a type of werewolf or some sort, but I am intrigued to find out. So I do have all 3. I'm very excited, and I plan to pick them up shortly. The next trilogy I picked up, and I do plan to read these soon, is the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I do have Caraval, Legendary, and Finale, so all 3, which I'm super excited about. But it's partly because there's another series that I want to read, but I have to read this first. So, I will read the synopsis of Caraval. Scarlet Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister, Tella, live with their powerful and cruel father. Now, Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt of invitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious sailor, Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caraval's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that this season's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Caraval is only an elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with the other players in the game. And whether Caraval is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. So, that's actually the first time I've ever read the synopsis of Caraval. But this is very, very intriguing. I am super excited to get into Scarlet's head and help her find her sister and all that other kind of stuff, and see what potential love interest there is and everything. So super, super excited to finally be picking this up and to have it on my shelf. So then that brings Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I have the first one. I have the Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love. So from my understanding, you have to read Caraval before you read this series. At least that's what my friends have said, since like they've read it and then they've read these. They personally have liked this better than Caraval, but to be able to understand some things in this, you have to read Caraval first. So I'm very, very excited. And I will read you the synopsis of this one, but I will be picking them up shortly. like here soon because I really do want to read these books. For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she'd pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. See, like, doesn't that just sound fantastic? Now, granted, I know what you're thinking. Well, that synopsis doesn't sound like you have to read Caraval at all. And I agree. But after talking with my friends about it, they were like, no, I'm telling you, you have to read Caraval first. And then you read these. I was like, okay, so that's what I plan to do. But I have all 3 of those, and I have all 3 of these. So what I could probably do is just go, like, do a Stephanie Garber marathon, to be quite honest. So we'll see. The next, I have 3 books left, but the next book I want to show off is The Wedding People. This one, I believe, is a contemporary fiction. And when I read the synopsis, it just sounded super sweet. It's basically about 2 women. And I want to say that she, like, it's the bride in her. Like, I'll read the synopsis for you. But it just sounds great. It sounds like an easy, nice, take it out of the fantasy, you know, realm for a little bit type of a book. So, it's a beautiful day in Newport, Rhode Island, when Phoebe Stone arrives at the Grand Cornwall Inn wearing a green dress and gold heels, not a bag in sight, alone. She's immediately mistaken by everyone in the lobby for one of the wedding people, but she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall who isn't here for the big event. Phoebe is here because she's dreamt of coming for years. She hoped to shuck oysters and take sunset sails with her husband, only now she's here without him at rock bottom and determined to have one last decadent splurge on herself. Meanwhile, the bride has accounted for every detail and every possible disaster the weekend might yield, except for, well, Phoebe and Phoebe's plan, which makes it that much more surprising when the 2 women can't stop confiding in each other. So, I think it'll be a very good read. Obviously, there's going to be some backstory between both of them, and they're going to become great friends, maybe. I don't know, but it sounds fantastic, so I'm excited to pick this up. The next book I got was Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven, and this just sounded absolutely fantastic. Basically, the premise is there's these 2 immortal beings, and they are drawn to each other in multiple lives. So you have a life, and then something happens and they die, and then they come back to life in a different form and they find each other again. And so it's gonna be a back and forth kind of like that. I'm not sure like how it'll end, but I'm very excited to pick this up. So basically, here's the front of it. They've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one. So it's probably like trying to figure out how to stop killing each other, but it's not long. I'm super excited to read it. I'm so glad I have it. And the last book I want to show off is the recent book I got from Broken Binding, and that is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in this series, and I had a paperback version of it, but I ended up gifting it away just because I was getting these from Broken Binding through my subscription. So I'm super excited for this edition. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. The outside cover, the sprayed edges, I mean, the inside pictures, and I mean, look at that hardcover. Oh my gosh. So I'm super excited to have this on my shelf as always. I think I just absolutely adore all of Broken Bindings editions. I mean, if I had the money to get all of them, I totally would. But super excited to pick this up and so happy I have this edition on my shelf. Well, there you have it, everybody. Those are the recent books I've picked up to add to my shelf and hopefully get to soon to read, if not already have read. So let me know what recent books you have picked up. I would absolutely love to know. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show